take the second exit on Jalan Masjid Negeri.
Okay, I've started a fresh video, second stage
At the
of
roundabout, take the second
the
exit
drive.
on Jalan Masjid Negeri.
Now, interestingly enough, now you can probably
In
also
2.9
hear
kilometers,
audio
keep right to P19 Jalan Masjid Negeri.
from my traffic guide, Waze traffic guide. You know, all good, all good. So you'll be hearing me, and you'll be hearing the nice lady from Waze, you know, giving directions as well. As a kind of a side note, you know, when I'm driving long distances and even at night when I'm driving home, even when I know the route, you know, I tend to leave Waze on for two reasons. One is that it will inform me if there are any, you know, potential road hazards along the way, or if there are, you know, traffic obstructions, and so if I should be taking an alternate route. And the other is actually that I kind of like that little chat that goes on when, you know, that Waze person is talking to me, because I drive alone, and so it's like having somebody in your car with you, talking to you a little bit, and it keeps you alert, kind of. And also it relaxes me, because I'll get an indication of when the next turn is going to be, or when the next set of traffic lights is going to be, you know. So I don't sort of like forgetfully miss taking a turn. And I must say that I have done that, you know, once in a while, yeah, when driving alone late at night after a gig. I'm tired, and you know, I miss a turn. I just keep driving along the road, because after a while all the roads seem to be the same. Okay guys, if you happen to be driving in Penang, and if you happen to be on this road, you know, like for me, from the coastal side, from the Penang Bridge, crossing the island on this road, and I want to get right across, you'll notice that I am on this particular lane, yeah, which is, shall I say, is the rightmost lane, or shall I call it the center? Oh yeah, the lane that is closest to the divider, yeah. So it's the rightmost lane. And I said that when you're driving in Malaysia, in general, you should avoid just switching lanes, you know. Just drive following the lane, you know, that you are in, following the speed of that lane. Don't be an idiot and switch lanes just trying to get somewhere faster. It's very troubling for the other drivers. But it so happens that this particular lane, you know, makes for the smoothest drive across this whole long intersecting road. This road is called Green Lane, and it basically cuts across from the coastal road right onto a road that is beside the polo ground of Penang, yeah, which is like somewhere in the center of the bloody town-ish area, yeah. And if you just follow this lane, you don't have to be like switching lanes, you know, to get to where you want to be going, yeah. This road is rather sensible. You can keep to one lane, and it's like these 3 lanes throughout, but there'll come a stage where this road becomes 2 lanes, yeah. And then you will start being confronted by another big challenge of driving in Malaysia, perhaps especially in Penang, yeah. And that is like the lack of system
In
when
300 meters,
when
keep
it
right.
comes to the road lanes and the width of the lanes and the way you are merging from one lane to another, even when headed in the same direction.
Keep right to P19
I'll
Jalan
explain a
Masjid
little bit
Negri.
later, okay? So we were at 3 lanes. We're going up a flyover where there are only 2 lanes, but
In 3 kilometers, turn right on Jalan Gottlieb.
it's still logical. And these 2 lanes are fairly wide and nice. But here we go again. Yeah, another guy overtaking me from the wrong side in some particular hurry, you know, only to be confronted with slow-moving traffic ahead. So, hey, bro, you know, what was all that about? Yeah.
Red light camera ahead.
This my Waze app is warning me that, you know, there's a red light camera ahead. I would assume that, you know, in any part of the world when there's a red light, it means that, you know, you have to stop, yeah. But it looks like for Malaysians, you know, the red light could mean more than one thing, and so your app has to, you know, let you know that, you know, there is a camera attached to the red light. So if you beat the red light, you might get caught, you know. Does that mean that, you know, if there is no camera, then, you know, you should or could beat the red light? Ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I think if it were me, like, you know, I would ban apps from warning people about red light cameras. Yeah, because you're supposed to follow the bloody safety regulations, and you're supposed to follow the road regulations. So why should an app help you to cheat? Yeah. Oh well. So now you can see ahead of me, yeah, there's still another car trying to cut in across into this lane, you know, and I'm still giving and keeping a fair distance from the car in front of me. It leaves a lot of room for people who want to merge into this lane. There are some drivers who will keep very close to the vehicle in front of them. They want to prevent people from cutting into the lane, so to speak. You know what I mean? They're like, oh no, this is my lane, you know, I'm going faster and I'm in a hurry. You're not going to, you know, do that. But come on, guys, you know, I mean, just be a bit civic conscious. There may be some person from out of town, or the amber, the light switched to amber. Yeah, it switched to amber when I was already at the intersection, so that's not against the law, and I wasn't going to suddenly slam on the brakes and leave my cars stranded in the center of the intersection. So anyway, you know, like there's just nothing wrong with, you know, leaving space for vehicles to come in and merge into your lane or stuff like that. We are all going in the same bloody direction, and generally everybody's going to get to wherever, you know, at approximately the same time. You don't lose anything by letting, you know, a couple of cars come into your lane. But if you're driving in Malaysia, you might find that, you know, sometimes it's infuriatingly difficult to get into the lane that you want to, because other vehicles are not letting you do so. Yeah, they're trying to block you from getting into the lane. Sometimes they perceive it as you came in from a lane that was moving a little bit faster because it was headed in a different direction, and now you're trying to cut into their lane because that's the lane that takes you to where you actually wanted to go, you know. So they think that you're cheating the system, so to speak, by just cutting into their lanes. But then again, that makes the sort of like the innocent person who didn't really have any bad motive or ulterior motive, it makes him become a victim of all this. Yeah, so I think people should just be a bit sensible. But having said which, if you drive regularly in Penang, you will notice that there are many Penang drivers who will do the nasty thing. They will go into a lane that is not congested because it's heading somewhere else, and then at the last minute they'll cut into the congested lane going to where they actually wanted to go. So this way they feel that they have shaved a fair bit of time off their journey, and they think they're really smart in doing this. Yeah, I think it's just like showing how inconsiderate they are. And if you develop that sort of a driving habit, it must be pretty stressful driving all the time like that. And then when two such drivers meet at some intersection, then it just results in a collision. Or if they happen to just cut into the lane of some person who didn't have quick enough reflexes, again another collision. Yeah, so why all that aggravation? Yeah. And you can notice, like in front of me, that we've come to a stage, an area where traffic is congested anyway. So just leave wherever you were starting off from. Leave earlier, give yourself an extra 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Get a bottle of mineral water and drink along the way, and something, yeah. Chill. Right, over here now, this is an interesting lane. It leads towards the famous Penang Botanical Gardens, and it's nice. One of the streets in Penang where you've got some beautiful shady trees, and it seems to be like a wide lane. But this is actually going to become like 2 lanes of traffic, and the road itself is not wide enough to take 2 lanes of traffic easily. And you must also remember that, see those mosquito motorcycles, the guy with the pink basket at the back as well, yeah? You got to factor them in as well. So they don't have their own lane, so they'll just squeeze in wherever they can. So this road that is like this is soon going to have to bear 2 lanes of traffic going in this direction. And so it will be a pretty tight squeeze for vehicles. Here we go. Yeah, it's already starting to happen. Yeah. Okay. Now, strange as it may seem, I shall have to be taking the left side of the road. When it becomes 2 lanes in traffic,
In 300 meters, turn right on Jalan Gottlieb.
I'll have to be taking the left lane, because there's an intersection, and 2 lanes can turn right. I don't know whether this makes any sense the way I'm describing it. Anyway, the lane that is on the right tends to move slowly because it's a tight turn for them. You see, now we come into 2 lanes. So this particular lane leads to the Botanical Gardens, but at the traffic intersection, you can also turn right at that lane. There's a little signboard in yellow on the left, okay, with some arrows, yeah. It says perhatian. Perhatian is a Malay word for attention, yeah, or notice, yeah. And then it says dua lorong. Dua is two, lorong is lane. So 2 lanes. Pembelokan is turning. So 2 lanes turning. Ke kanan. Kanan is right and ke is 2. So basically the sign is saying attention. Then there's some arrows that showing what's happening. The left lane can go straight or turn right. The right lane is for turning right. And then it says 2 lanes for turning to the right. Look at that. You learn the language as as you watch the videos here down there. By the way, guys, do me a favor, please. If you're watching this, please subscribe to my silly little YouTube channel. I need to build up the subscriber list so that one day in the future, I may be able to generate something from this YouTube thingy. Right now, rest
Turn right on
assured,
Jalan Gottlieb.
rest assured, I don't make a single cent from these videos. Alright, I'm going to turn right now. Now, here we go. Now, this part, a little bit tricky, but I'm occupying the
1.3
rightmost lane
kilometers.
again.
Turn left on 6 Jalan Tanjung Tokam.
And just to make it clear, I did not cut into anybody's path to order to make this. This is weird from the left lane moving into a right lane along the intersection thing, because like I said, the guys who are on that right lane turning into that intersection, it's a sharp turn for them, so they tend to be slow. And so a whole pile of them slow down, and when you start taking the turn from the left lane, your lane is like clear, and so there's a lot of space to just merge into the right again. You got to figure out what I was trying to say, yeah. So here we go again, and right now, so far the system of traffic lanes and driving in Penang has not been too weird. But in a few minutes, we are going to reach the other coastal road. From the Penang bridge, when we reached Penang, we were at the east-ish coast, and now we're going to go to the west-ish coast of Penang. We're going to reach that coastal road, So this particular road that I took from the east coastal road just cut across the island. Once we reach the next coastal road, which is on the western coast, that's where most of the tourist beach resorts and hotels and stuff are located at. And once upon a time, it was a nice, pleasant area and road. But as more and more commercialization began to set in, the area became congested. More and more hotels have sprung up. They've even reclaimed a fair bit of land from the sea to build in more hotels and condominiums and shopping malls, so that road has become rather congested. And the main road there, which was adequate 30, 40, 50 years ago, is no longer adequate, and they keep trying to widen stretches of the road to cope with the increase in traffic. But there is not always enough space to widen the road. So it seems like, the road widening is going on at an ad hoc basis kind of a thingy. In some areas, they widen the road to 2 lanes. Some areas, they widen it to 3 or even 4 lanes. And then in other areas, they can only accommodate 2 lanes. So when you're driving along the road, it gets rather confusing, yeah. Because one moment you are in like 3 or 4 lanes of traffic, and then next moment there's only 2 lanes. So the lane that you were in, which seemed to be perfectly fine and logical for going straight, now maybe, merging into a lane that is meant only for turning towards the right at the next intersection. So you, at every intersection, you need to sort of like carefully look out to see which lane you should be in for where you want to be going. Yeah, and it doesn't seem to be very logical, and the road signs are not very helpful, because if you look at the road, it might give you an arrow indicator saying that you're on a lane that is like, designated for going straight. But for like 20 yards ahead, suddenly the arrow says this lane is meant to only turn right. So it's like, what's happening, bro? And so you just need to be very mindful, yeah. And then look at that guy in front. He's already trying to cut into the lane, yeah. And already narrow lane becomes narrow. So keep your eye out on your lane. Stay within your lane. Use your Waze as a guide to where the next intersection is going to be taking you. I know that when we come into the next intersection, I'll be
In 300
heading left.
meters, turn left.
So you see, and the kind Waze lady has said that in 300 meters I need to turn left. So I've already got my indicator out, already finding my way to the leftmost lane, and here we go.
Turn left on 6 Jalan Tanjung Tokam.
Yeah. All right, going left. Traffic light saying left, but the traffic that is coming from our right, they've just had their lights turn green, so there's a lot of traffic coming in. So we've just got to wait until there is space for us to merge into that lane. And we're going to merge into a lane, I think that is like 3 lanes wide here. But you will notice that I shall be trying to take the leftmost lane as soon as I can. Hang on, I've still got to wait. There's lots of traffic behind me here. Okay. Right.
In 2 kilometers, turn right on Jalan Seri Tanjung Penang.
Yeah. So I'm actually headed straight for about 2 kilometers. And normally when you drive along one of these like city roads, you would assume that the center lane, about these 3 lanes, I'm on the left, the lane just to the right of me, the center, you would assume that the center lane would be the lane that is headed straight. Yeah. But unfortunately, the center lane here pretty soon is going to like be a lane that is meant for turning to the right, or there'll be some people on the center lane trying to turn to the right. So the leftmost lane in this area, I'll find is like usually will take me straight. And now here's a guy who's parked on the side, partially on the curb, so to speak. Oh, here we go. Anyway, hey, the center lane is also going straight, yeah, but this lane that was on the left is going straight. And the rightmost lane, you notice people were turning to the right. Now, here we go. At the next intersection, I want to turn right. And now I'm at the center lane. I am at the center lane because I shall soon be turning to the right. I don't want to go to the right lane because one of the rightmost lane is going to be a lane that also allows for people to make U-turns, and then traffic will become very slow. So you notice this lane, which was a center lane for going straight, the arrows on the road now are indicating that this lane is also designated for only turning right here. So I just sort of like know this because I've been driving along this road all the time. But if you didn't know, if you didn't know, then you could easily be finding yourself in the wrong lane, and then needing to cut across lanes and stuff like that. So that's where you will be hoping and relying on the goodwill of other drivers to give way for you to change your lanes. But some days you tend to encounter ill-tempered drivers who take any attempt by you to switch lanes as a kind of a threat towards their territorial integrity, so to speak, or their lane territorial integrity, and make your driving a bit stressful. So have a drink of water, have another drink of water. Now, in terms of time, guys, we are a few minutes away from my destination, and very much earlier on, the Waze driving app that I had used had given me an estimated time of arrival as 4:05 p.m. and now it's saying I shall arrive at 4:06 p.m. So, for a drive of 1.5 hours, it has been accurate to about a minute. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? So if you
1.5
plan your
kilometers,
drives
turn right.
and you use your Waze or app, you can reach your destination in a timely way. Yeah? Of course, there could still be things like road obstructions, some traffic congestion somewhere, or some accident. But generally speaking, the Waze app would also take into account traffic congestion. It's only if something new, some new event occurred, on the road, like some traffic accident suddenly occurred and then blocked off that road or caused a new congestion, then the timings might run off. So nevertheless, it's a good idea to just regularly use your Waze app if you're driving a longer distance, so you have a fairly decent idea of how long it's going to take you to get to where you want to go. Then leave early so that you are in no terrible rush, and then just like try to drive peacefully. Yeah, just what can I say? Yeah, guys, we are almost at our destination.
In 300 meters, turn right. Then turn right.
Yep, I'm almost there, and I'll need to be driving and parking my car soon. Do I want to explain? Oh, guys, crossing the road, very difficult. I'm slowing down just to let the guys cross. But come on, guys, find a pedestrian crossing or be
Turn right.
something.
Then turn right.
Then again. All right, here we go. Turning in right. Yeah. And here we go. And by the way, I'm going to be parking at the mall. And remember me telling you about the pre-loaded card that you could use on the highway called Touch and Go? Well, you can use those pre-loaded cards to pay for your parking at many malls across the country as well. Okay, guys, still leave the video running. This is the Straits Key in Malacca. It's a mall come condominiums built on reclaimed land just beside the sea. There's a nice marina there where people have expensive boats and yachts that they moor so that they can come back onto land and enjoy the place. I've got to park my car. The multi-level car park thingy. Just hoping that I'll be able to get an easy lot where I don't have to push my trolley for long distances. This is the mall-ish area. And let's go. Parking lot. Fingers crossed. Oh, together. Yes, no, yes, no. A lot of luck. This level has an empty space. Ooh, I'm lucky today. Alright, good. Oh, this is lovely. Yeah. Sorry, mate. Thank you. Here we go. In my case, parking the car can be a little bit tricky sometimes because I need to take things out of my booth on the rear of the car, so I need space to be able to move things. Easiest if I just put my rear easiest if I put my rear to the main way. In other words, not my rear to the walls, but I think this is about the best I can achieve for today. So just hope there's enough space for me to take my things out. Here we go. Oh, win video. Guys, we are at the straight ski. I hope this video comes out alright. Hopefully.